Alright, just want to say a quick hello to all my classmates and to Mr. Bloom. My name is Pasquale, and this is the one-page site that I put together with all the components that I'm hoping to be working on over the next several weeks. I started out with this is an on-scroll animated header. It starts out fairly large like this, and then once you scroll down a little bit on the page, it condenses up to the top, and it makes the primary reading space the main feature. I think it's nice for getting secondary elements out of the way so that the main focus of the site can be more widely seen by users. The one that I found is really simple. It doesn't have a whole lot of lines of HTML code. There's a good deal of CSS to make it work, and a little bit of JavaScript, but it should be simple enough to incorporate into a site, and something that just about every site needs. It's got a spot where you can put in navigation at the top like this, and that even compresses down a little bit here once you scroll, but the links don't lose any of their font size or anything like that, so they're still fairly prominent. The second component that I'm working on is a responsive navigation menu. It's flat, there's no shadows or anything. This one's nice. I think for a navigation menu, a target audience is pretty much everybody that's an online user. They need a way to get through the site with a fairly simple and readable roadmap. This one has an active state where it creates an underline, colors the text to signify that that's the page we are currently on, and when you hover over each of these, that black line slides over to where you hover, and the text also takes a different color to let the user know that that's what they're currently focused on. This is really prominent. I like the hover effects, and I think that just about every client needs this, unless they're doing like a one-page landing page, something like that, where they don't have a use for navigation, but the majority of websites that are multi-page sites do need this. It's a simple navigation menu, it's really simple to code, and the only issue with it is that it doesn't have a sub-menu option. So as far as target audience goes, you're going to want to keep from using this with clients that have a lot of sub-pages. Wouldn't really lend itself properly to something like that. My third component is a responsive full-screen background image. I'm starting to see, not starting, but been seeing a lot of these used in web design full-screen images and full-screen videos. The nice thing about these with the target audience, you can specify your target audience through the content of the image. This one, a man at the beach with a surfboard. Maybe this is for a surf shop. Maybe it's for a travel agency or something along those lines. But whatever it be, I just was on a site the other day that was for Weber grills, and they use full-screen background images and full-screen videos in the background that kind of run behind the content space, and they look great. I mean, they're gigantic. They are great. Great way to really catch the user's eye right off the bat. These are fairly easy to implement, and I like that this particular one is responsive across all devices, especially with the onset of mobile devices being extremely prominent. The usage percentages are going up all the time, and I think that's a good tool for that. I have a social media sharing menu component. This one, I don't want to confuse it with following social media follow links. I've got that down at the bottom that I'll get to eventually, but these are just specifically to share a page or a blog post with your audience. Target audience for this, again, it's basically all audiences. When you've got a client that's promoting their hotel or promoting their photography business or something, it's as good as word of mouth. If you're sitting in a restaurant talking to a friend who has a back problem and like, oh, I know a great spine surgeon, Well, in this case, you see something online and you could blindly share it, overshare it, but in the case of client needs, when somebody sees something and whether it's for them or it's not for them, there's always that chance that they're going to know somebody who can benefit from this content or what's on sale or a doctor that they know. So I think these are extremely useful tools for sharing out information with other people. I've got this I just thought was really cool. It's a slide-in image box component. When you're not seeing it here, but if you click on this link here, when you're actually viewing my site, you'll be able to test out the demo. When you hover on each of these, their starting state is just gray and faded like this, but when you hover, this image here flies in from the right side, and the color takes on, the font and the background take on a different color. So you can really see there's an animation that kind of brightens up the whole screen, and the way this flies in. I think it can be used on a number of different audiences. You could use it for tutorials, you could use it on blog posts, news updates, even restaurants, like if there were sections of the menu, appetizers, main courses, desserts, and you had like an image that flew in here that was something off the menu. This is a great teaser that I feel like would really draw the user in and want them, get them to click more. A simple animation, and I really like it. The sixth one that I chose is this call to action component. This is another one. You're going to have to click on this link to really see how these work, but these buttons, they all kind of scroll these little bars clockwise to the right. This one's got breaks in it. This one's got, it's just breaks in different areas, and they all look a little bit different colors. I played around with the code, and you can easily change the colors to match your theming, fonts, and other stuff. Very simple. So I think a target audience for this can again be just anything, but these are a little bit flashy. I felt like when I was doing my critique paragraph that the longer I stayed on the page and watched them, the more I felt like they were annoying neon signs, and I would definitely use them sparingly and with maybe a classier color or a more subtle item to them, but they're very noticeable, as you'll see when you click on the link. My seventh item is very common. This is an image gallery. This one is responsive and shrinks to fit on all devices. Very easy to code. Target audience, honestly, anyone. If you're a hotel, you're showing off pictures of your property, photographer that wants to showcase all the photographs from various weddings and professional events, conventions, whatever. Again, you could use this on a restaurant site. It's I think the range of audiences is very wide. I kind of wrote about this in my critique paragraph, but I like that these have started to come into responsive design, because when you see galleries like this, more and more they've gotten left off of mobile layouts in the past because of how bulky they are. But this one's really simple. It's all CSS and HTML, and it works really well. So there won't be anything that's sacrificed from the desktop to mobile experience for the user, which is nice. My eighth component, this is the one that scares me the most. I really want to try making this. I don't know if I can, and I say this in advance, but I hope that I don't have to replace it. This is a about our team or about us kind of thing. This one is for Envy Labs here in Orlando, Florida. They're a company that does Code School and other. They're also a web design agency. They made this look like the periodic table. Each one of these is the person's first and last initial, and then when you hover over these, they kind of angle themselves a little bit, and then when you click it, it fully turns around like this one here for Jennifer. And you can see she's got Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest here. Some of the others have links to their blogs or to their GitHub accounts and little bios and such like that. It tells you what their job title is and what they do. It's nice because it's compact and you see everybody. I think these are kind of essential for web agencies and even, I mean, smaller hotels like boutique hotels might enjoy using these to showcase some of their staff. And every single one of these people is smiling, so it's very inviting, and it makes you feel like as you see more about them and you learn more about them, that this is a company you can trust because they're hiring quality people. It's a great way to get your brand a feeling of substantial trust, I think. And it's like an introduction. You know, it's not a face-to-face with a handshake, but it's a way to see a little bit more about who's working on your hotel stay or your web design. My ninth component is a rotating banner. This one is another one from a web agency here in Orlando. They're called Who is Karis, and it has a fade effect. It's good for, I mean, I've seen them used in the medical industry, on hotel websites, on travel websites. Some of these, even airline websites use these, so I think, again, the audience is wide. This one is, it starts out on a timer, and it fades automatically to the next one, but the user can also manually click either one of these two arrow buttons here and scroll through and see what else is there. The only thing, and I put this in my critique, is that once you start clicking these, the timer shuts off, and if the user leaves it alone, it doesn't continue to scroll to the next one. So I want to see if there's a way in the code to have the timer start back up and continue through the slideshow. And my 10th and final component that I want to work on is follow icons. These are super simple. You see them on every website. I ran into a couple of pros and cons. I think a lot of clients just want these because they want to showcase their social media outlets. They've all got this impression that sharing is the way to increase free advertising and get other people interested. However, the one article that I came across, if you want to read it down here at the bottom, he starts talking about how these icons can be a distraction. They can also, I don't know, lead to oversharing and things like that. But we're in a world right now where everything is about sharing on Facebook and tweeting it out and letting other people know. And so it's a trend that right now is extremely popular. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. And with that in mind, these clients are going to continue to want them when we design websites for them or email marketing campaigns or whatever it is. So those are my 10. Looking forward to start working on them in the next weeks to come. And thanks for watching.